Alright, so today I want to talk to you about the Esoteric Agenda by the HAARP machine. If you've not already checked out my cover video of this song, please feel free to do so. It's on YouTube. You can also watch it on my website, which is gatsdrums.com. I also want to point out that you can refer to the transcription that I've created, which is also available on my website. This should help while I'm discussing things in the lesson because I'm going to be referring to different pieces of the song. I have everything labeled in the transcription, so it should at least help you kind of quickly refer to the different parts that I'm talking about throughout this video. All right, let's talk about section A. This section is comprised mainly of 15/16 and 5/16 time signatures, just alternating back and forth with one another throughout the entire section. I would say most people might be a little bit more comfortable with 5/16. Counting 5 is not too terrible, but if you're uncomfortable with 15/16, I can suggest at least trying to break it down a little bit. For example, while I was practicing this and playing it myself, I was really counting, instead of 15 consecutive 16th notes, I was really counting 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4. So I was counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I felt that that was a lot easier, primarily because I thought that that was really the pulse of the song. If you kind of follow along with the hi-hat, the accents are following basically that counting pattern. So that's one suggestion I can make to make things a little bit easier. So let me go ahead and just play through this section for you. I'll slow it down a little bit so that hopefully it can allow you to really hear the different things that are going on and make it a little bit easier to practice for yourself. Next, I want to talk to you about sections B and C, and I want to point these sections out just because they're such kind of a stark contrast to section A. As soon as we jump into section B, we start out playing a thrash beat, and then we have a few 30-second note fills thrown in at the end of the phrases, combined with cymbal hits here and there as well. And then, of course, in section C, it slows down briefly for just about a measure, but then you dive right into extremely fast blast beats. I felt, at least, that at this tempo, these blast beats really kind of are a struggle to keep up with. So one of the things that I was going to point out and say is that I can really recommend trying to slow this section down while you're practicing, just so you can really make sure to focus on what your hands are doing, really accent everything and play it accurately, and then begin to increase the tempo just so that you can make sure you're doing everything correctly. So here is an example of what these sections sound like, just slowed down a little bit so you can really hear what's going on. So I wanted to go over now sections D and E. And what I really wanted to point out with section D was just the fill that happens in measure 39. I think that this is a really cool fill, and it's basically kind of serves as the transition between the first half of the song and the second half of the song. It is basically alternating 16th note sextuplets played between your hands and your feet, and then moving around your toms as you go. And then as you're transitioning with that fill into section E, there's actually a time change, or excuse me, a tempo change going on, so that when you make it to section E, a quarter note is now actually equivalent to what previously was a dotted quarter note. So in a nutshell, basically it's just slowing down, but I wanted to point this out because it does create this kind of interesting 2 against 3 feel that you might feel for the first few measures of section E. So here is what that section, these 2 sections sound like slowed down. So the last section I want to point out is just section I, which is the last part of the song. And what I really wanted to talk to you about and just basically show you really is the alternating cymbal hits that I'm playing, going back and forth between the right and left side of the kit, while also hitting the snare drum. And then later on this moves into hitting the snare drum with a cymbal and then with the toms as well. You don't necessarily need to play this with an alternating motion, but it definitely kind of makes it look a little bit more interesting. So let me just go ahead and play through that a little bit slowed down for you so you can see what's going on. Alright, well thank you guys for watching. That's everything that I have for you in this video. I just want to say too that if you've not already checked out the cover video, please feel free to do that on YouTube or on my website, gatsdrums.com. And also please visit my website also for the transcription. You can find that there and refer to it while you're practicing this song. Last, if you do have any covers or lessons that you'd like to see me make in the future, please let me know just by commenting on this video. Thanks a lot.